Oh, look, it's gone all, suppose that's okay. Polly asked me, she asked me nicely, there she is, Polly, hello Polly, my penguin asked me to talk about how I film my videos. I did it yesterday. I'm having to do it again because I had the camera at the wrong viewing angle, so I've switched to landscape today. That's right, isn't it, Polly? Landscape. Let's talk about it again. When I first started filming, I used a Kodak ZI6 camera, I think it was. I didn't go anything particularly expensive because I didn't really think what I was doing was particularly good, so I didn't really think it was worth spending that much money on a camera. So I bought a ZI6 Kodak camera. It was a dark pink sort of cerise colour, and it was pretty good for the money. The only thing I found was that when I came to use it for football, and particularly squash football, it then proved problematical for me. The reason being that, like this Kodak camera, which could be a bit overexposed now, like this Kodak camera, it you have to put it up like that to view through it. And when I came to use it on the squash court, that meant I couldn't really see what I was filming, because I needed to put the camera as far back as possible to get as much of the court in as I could, and that wasn't that easy, to be honest. One, because the squash court is small, and two, that means that you can't then get more of the action in either. So that proved a problem. So what I did, I went and upgraded, because my squash football was getting better, I upgraded to this Panasonic camera, and it's almost in focus, and this had the double benefit of having a wider viewing angle, recording angle, and it's got the old flip screen, so I could put it right against the wall and see myself and see what I was filming. So that was excellent for that. I mean, the worst example of not filming myself on that Kodak camera was in Newcastle, First Avenue Studios, where I set the camera up, and of course I couldn't see myself in the camera, and I didn't set it up properly, and recorded most of the session with my head out of shot. It was a full body sort of shot that I set myself up for, because I was on sort of a raised platform, and unfortunately my head doesn't appear in most of the video, just my body. So that was probably the worst example of the problem that caused. I used that ZI6 camera after I'd got the Panasonic for bottle cam, and amazingly I didn't destroy it using it as a bottle cam. Somehow it survived. However, I took it out in the rain, and the rain did get into it. It wasn't waterproof, so it shouldn't really have survived, and it didn't. It would have been good if it had survived, of course. So that's why I can't show it to you, because it went into the bin. So so I thought I'd get myself a waterproof camera. So if I did have to film myself in the rain, then I could still have a camera, because that's not waterproof, and I wouldn't want to lose that one because it's quite expensive. So I thought I'd buy a waterproof Kodak camera, and so if I had to play football in the rain, I could still film myself on one camera. And I use these two for the football videos out on the big pitches. So that's what I used to create the two. I did use the other Kodak camera as well, but that's the two cameras I use for the football pitch videos. So that's that. Then I thought I'd try some 3D cameras. And the first thing I tried was the Nintendo DS3, and it didn't prove that effective. In fact, it didn't prove effective at all, to be honest. The first problem is it only records for 10 minutes and then switches off. And the second problem was, in fact there's three problems. The second problem was when I looked at it on the screen, possibly because of my squinty eyes, it doesn't look 3D at all. So that wasn't very good. And the third problem was I uploaded it onto YouTube, and YouTube doesn't convert it to 3D either. So there's no point really using that to try and film 3D. So I experimented with this Sony Bloggie camera, and initially I was again disappointed with it for the same reason as the Nintendo. It, through that screen, it's supposed to be showing you 3D. Wait, better see me, there's the light. It's supposed to show you 3D on that screen. One, it's obviously small, and two, again, perhaps because of my eyes, with my squint, it doesn't look 3D at all to me. So I thought, oh, that's disappointing. The Nintendo, obviously, I can use to play games and things, whereas this was just supposed to be for 3D. So I was a bit disappointed. However, I uploaded it again, whatever that is, to YouTube, and YouTube does actually convert these videos into 3D, so I was quite pleased with that. I even bought some proper 3D glasses, which are in this drawer. Proper 3D glasses. So that's the only problem with that camera, though, is that for some reason it shuts off at 29 minutes. Why 30? I don't know. It just, however, it decides 29 minutes I've had enough and stops filming. Why it can't just create another file and carry on filming, I don't know. However, that's what it does. It stops off, which is why when I went to Norwich, I lost some valuable football footage. It wasn't a great session, that one, because it turned off and I forgot, and eventually remembered, and lost about 5 minutes of excellent football footage. What else can I tell you? Oh yes, if you're wondering how I'm filming now, I'm using an iPhone 4. I did use my iPad Touch once to film rhino racing. I didn't want to take a big camera into the shop, so I filmed it on my iPod Touch. So I've used that once for filming. The other thing I use, because I've still got the problem with that camera in terms of putting it against walls and things, So I did invest in a mirror. You might be able to see me now, but if it wasn't for that, there's a light on. I'm not British siders, I'm afraid. So yeah, I used a mirror to try and help. It's still not ideal, to be honest. You still end up not really setting up the shot as you'd like. And the other thing is to mention is, which Puppy is looking after, is that's the tripod I use outdoors. As far as it obviously extends. As far as editing videos go, initially I used the I'm not sure what I used for the Kodak, to be honest. I think there was some editing software with that as well. There must have been. Then I used the Panasonic video editing software, which isn't that good. Then I used Windows Movie Maker, and now, because I've discovered some features in iMovie, I use iMovie for sort of complicated editing, because you can do picture-in-picture, side-by-side, all sorts of interesting stuff. So that's a video I'm going to put up onto YouTube later. It's a pinball video. It's very exciting. Me playing pinball for 16 minutes. So that will go up later. And I also use, which you might be able to see later, depends, Windows Movie Maker. I still use that for compressing the files for YouTube, because particularly the full-size football videos, it takes ages. It takes about an hour to do. Sorry, and it takes about 3 hours to do a gigabyte on my computer to upload. So for the large football videos, which can be over 4 gigabytes, I compress those on the Windows Movie Maker first, and then upload them to save 12 plus hours of uploading time. So simple editing and compressing I'll do on Windows Movie Maker, and complicated stuff I'll now do on iMovie. I mean that is pinball is symbol, so I'll just like show you as an example. So I think I've covered everything now. I should now have a slurp of coffee in a tea mug. And say goodbye to you and light. Goodbye to Polly. I still haven't worked out how to use this iPhone 4 either, including put my finger over the lens.